Wonderful. In his career, he's won a total of 61 awards, 1 Oscar, 3 BAFTAs and 1 Golden Globe. He played iconic roles including Sir Winston Churchill, Commissioner Gordon in the Dark Knight series, Sirius Black, of course, in Harry Potter, and the legendary Dracula in 1992. The on-screen legend has a new Apple TV show out called Slow Horses, where he stars as Jackson Lamb, the leader of an MI5 dumping ground. I'm so pleased to say join us now, Academy Award winner Gary Oldman. Gary, good morning.
Good morning, Gary.
Thank you for having me.
That's some list. Wow, 61 awards.
Yes. I didn't know that, actually. I don't... it's not something I do every morning. No. Go through.
How many have I got now?
Yeah, but you have an enviable voice.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's a miracle. The way I live my life, it's a miracle. I've still got a voice. Honestly. Oh, Gary, it's wonderful to have you here. See, do you know, as soon as the boys said you're coming in, right away I'm thinking Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. Yeah. I love that movie.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I've watched it a few times. Oh, I loved it. Did you enjoy doing that?
Yeah, so much so that I missed Smiley George when I finished it. It was one of the few occasions where I thought, I really miss him. Mm. I loved, there's a sort of calm and a stillness to George, because he's like an owl, isn't he? He's like watching and listening the whole time.
Yeah.
But he is a sort of he's an example of sort of the preservation of energy, you know. And it was like he lowered my blood pressure when I played him.
Yeah.
You know. And I just loved the character, loved Le Carré's writing, and of course in this new series, Slow Horses, these series of books that Mick Herron has written, he's sort of been hailed as the sort of the heir to Le Carré.
Do you know what I'm enjoying at the moment? Ipcris File. I'm enjoying that.
Oh, the Ipcris. Yeah,
I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah.
I love spy movies, I really do.
Yeah.
But Tinker Tailor was just a bit special. And do you know when you said you miss him, Smiley? Amazingly, yesterday, Stephen Knight said Tom Hardy in Peaky was written out of it when he got shot. And Tom phoned him up and says, no, don't kill me off. I want back in. I'm missing it. Amazing.
Yeah, and then, of course, he does return with that wonderful scene when he with Cillian Murphy, when he says that he was left for dead on the beach, and then he woke up and he said, I don't know if I was in heaven. He said, but if this is heaven. He said, it looks a lot like Bloody Margaret.
Yeah. And whatever happened to the dog, the poor dog?
Oh, no, the poor dog,
Gary, I've got to ask you, how long does it take to get into the character? Because you do all these different sort of roles, and, you know, how long does it take you to get used to being the character itself?
Depends. It's, I mean, with the current one, with Slow Horses, the creation of the character is so meticulously thought out by the writer. You know when they say, you know the old saying, you know, if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. I mean, you're as good as the writing. You know, when the writing is not good, when the writing is poor, then you find yourself working too hard. If you get a sweat on, you know that you're pushing
it's not
it.
Your character.
You're working too hard for it. But the writing is so delicious, and the creation of the character is such that then you come in, and it's a marriage between the writer, and then you come in and you physicalize it, and you give it a bit of, you know, you give it a voice, and you give it movement, and you bring your own topspin to it, you know. But it depends. Sometimes the cloak of inspiration just happens, and other times it's a longer process. I mean, with Churchill, that was a good 6 or 7 months like prep before before I even got to the I watched as much footage and read books and, you know, sort of, because he's so iconic and there's so much material on him that so you become a bit like an investigator.
A big cigar as well.
And a big cigar.
Can't beat one of them.
A
Gary,
larded arm.
Yeah.
yes. Gary, True Romance was probably one of my favourite films growing up. But you also did a film where, when I watched it afterwards, I was kind of wondering whether I knew information that I shouldn't have known, which was another Secret Service film, JFK. Do you feel there's I mean, what an incredible film, and the experience I got after watching that and your performance. But do you think that the new era of like films and stories, especially the one like Slow Horses, do you think they're more revealing in what they give away in certain with technology and what's going on behind the scenes?
That's a hard one, really. I think, well, we mentioned Peaky Blinders at the top of the show. I think that long-form TV, which I'm a huge fan of, I think that you see the best writing, best directing, best acting, best set design, best cinematography. I mean, I think it's often better than what you get on the big screen. Mm-hmm. The thing with JFK is that there was only so much information at the time we made the film, and it's wow, it's a long time ago now. Since since we made that film, they've declassified a lot of material and unredacted reams of it, and it turns out, funny enough, you mentioned JFK, that at the time Oliver Stone, conspiracy theories and he's nuts, he's crazy, what's he talking about? Well, it just so happens
It's fairly accurate.
Yeah,
amazing.
And they're still holding stuff back. Why?
Yeah,
they declassify stuff and say, but it's not everything. Well, then you wonder why it isn't everything, and what they're hiding.
Do we not do that in this country as well, though? We don't reveal everything, do we?
No, we do it. It's Nick, the rider of Slow Horses, was asked, is there such a thing as this Slough House? This place where these MI5 agents who are disgraced, this place they go to, and it's and he's thought it up. He's made it up, but has he?
Yeah.
I don't think they'd ever tell us, would they?
No.
If there's a place like that. So I'm sure it's the world. No, it's the world over.
And location-wise for Slow Horses, are you travelling all over Europe in it, or is it based mainly here?
The first season is 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And we've been London-based. But the books, I think there's maybe 9 books. I mean, I don't know whether we'll ever get to tell all that.
And the era-wise, what we're talking about, what era?
We're talking sort of, it's modern day, but it's got early 2000s.
Oh, really?
Today, got a little a scent of the 70s. It's a sort of without it being in a period piece in your face. Yeah.
Gary, you're a big Man United fan, is that right?
I am.
How did you come to?
How did I end up become
a Manchester United fan? What was the reason?
Here's the thing. I was born. They say that Cockneys are born within the sound of Bow Bells. I was born within the sound of Millwall supporters, because I could hear the ground. I could hear the crowd.
Old Kent Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see the floodlights and hear the crowd from the back garden.
The old den.
From the back garden. Yeah, the Coldblow Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
And so in terms of a local team that I supported, that was the one. It was the closest. I mean, it was a 5-minute walk from where I lived, and obviously we'd board up the windows when because that's where the crowd walk past our front door to get to the ground. But I, like most kids now, they run around little kids, and you see, and it's got Messi on their shirt and Ronaldo and the thing. Well, in my day, when I was that age, it was best.
Yeah.
And so you kind of idolize this one guy, and really through that you then start to appreciate all the other players and the team. So I would make a point of going to games that they played when they came south.
Yeah.
So I saw Best, Charlton, Dennis Law, Nobby Stiles, Alex Stepney.
What a team.
Paddy Crennan might have been in there.
Paddy Crennan, and then later, Giggs, Cantona.
Robson, Brian Robson. What a player.
So I saw
Alan Brazil.
Don't
laugh too much, Gary. Come on.
But I was
in Benny's more, weren't you?
So I feel very lucky and very privileged to have seen the great United side.
Great sides, yeah.
Yeah,
I played against a lot of them.
Yeah,
Roy Keane and
Giggs,
Paul Scholes.
Yeah,
brilliant team.
And then and there were lots of many other players that I loved. I'd go and see. Obviously, I'd go and see West Ham. When I could, and but so that's how I sort of became a Man United fan. I remember the Benfica, and those. I remember I would have been about 5,
Wembley,
or 6,
and of course the year before that it was Celtic who were the first British team to win it. Gary, don't forget that.
God, I forgot.
I forgot that as well.
I forgot that.
Was that right?
67.
67.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, but we're talking about Manchester United.
I've just said that because Ali McCoy has just texted me and he said, I'm gutted I'm not there. Tell Gary hello. Ali McCoy just texted me.
Right.
He's listening at home.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.